Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my most highly requested videos. It's a review, and as you probably have seen from the title of the video, I'm going to be reviewing my Kryolan Derma Color Camouflage Creme, and I am in the shade D3. Now, before I talk about anything, I think one of the most important things that I assume you guys would be looking for is how to use it, how to make it work, and how it looks on the skin once applied properly. So let's just get into the demo and we'll come back to the rest of everything in a little bit. Let's begin with the demo of how I like to use my Derma Color Camouflage Creme. I think I've already mentioned this, but I am in the shade D3. Let me just show you how it's done again on this eye, but before I do that, just you can see that this eye is a lot brighter and a lot more concealed. The dark circles are a lot more concealed than this one. So it is a good concealer. I mean, it's good as a concealer, but it does have its negatives, which I'm going to discuss a little bit later. I'm again doing the same thing, taking a little bit on my finger. I think it's important again to mention that this concealer creases very quickly, and therefore you don't want to pile a lot of it on. You want to work as quickly as possible with it, and you want to like use as thin a layer of concealer as you possibly can. Let me just quickly grab my mirror and do this again. I hope you can see I'm just dabbing the product under my eyes. I have taken to highlighting just here and not bring it all the way down to my cheek. I like to use a proper highlighter for that purpose, but this can be used for that. There, it has been applied. Now I'm going to take my brush and just buff it into my skin. While it is still creamy, it does blend in, but you have to work very quickly with this. This sets very fast and then it starts creasing very fast, so you want to work as quickly as you possibly can with this. And it is blended. Next, I'm taking this little brush and my loose powder, and I'm going to set it immediately. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to quickly set this. And you want to make sure you set it very well. And it's done. Now let's try and conceal some of my acne scars with this, shall we? Over here also you want to work very quickly. This you can just do with your fingers, but over here as well you want to work very quickly because it does crease. I'm sorry I'm not looking straight at the camera, I'm looking behind because that is where my mirror is. Then taking the brush that I used for foundation and buffing it. And finally, I'm going to contour, I'm going to highlight the tip of my nose with this, the bridge of my nose, very lightly, very, very light-handedly, and blending it as I apply it, concentrating on the tip. Concealing the forehead. Can be used on the Cupid's bow, but I'm not going to because I don't need it today. My Cupid's bow is plenty defined. I don't really need to define it a little bit extra. After I do this, quickly buff it in, make it as seamless as possible with your brush or a beauty blender or your blending sponge or your fingers, whatever you prefer. But with this, I really like to use a brush on top to make it as seamless as possible. This is the longest demo in the history of demos. Oh my god. Done. Now again, it's going to crease very quickly, so you want to be very fast about this. You want your powder brush and your compact, and you want to set this right away. You can deal with all the other, blush, bronzing, contouring, etc. later. You want to make sure that it is set nicely. And done. Now that you've seen the demo, let's address the various issues that I did mention there, and let's talk about this all over. First thing, let's talk about its packaging. It comes in a little pot such as this one. It's very plastic, and to be very honest, I don't like this packaging. I don't know if you can tell, but the cap, it's not very well packaged. The cap is already cracking. I really hope you can tell. Can you tell? Do you see this? It's already cracking, so that reduces the lifespan of this thing, because now that it's cracking, I can't use it for very long, which is a waste because there is a lot of product in this, so I don't like that. But what I do like is that they're very particular about mentioning everything. I don't really see the ingredients, but it did come in a little box that I threw away ages and ages ago. This is not a new concealer for me. I've had it for a very long time, but it did have every detail on the box. Another thing about the packaging is that since it's a pot and it's like this, it's a very thick, creamy thing, so you can't even put a brush in it or whatever. You have to use your fingers, which can make it extremely unhygienic if you're not careful about washing your hands first properly, etc. So that can make it very unhygienic. I don't like the packaging one bit. Other than that, the product itself is, I have a mixed sort of opinion. There are times when I love it, and there are situations in which I absolutely hate it. The formula is very cream to powder, so you take it a little bit and it's quite creamy. It's not as creamy as my Maybelline Fit Me. Of course, it's not a cream consistency, that creamy, but it is quite creamy. But as soon as it's out on your finger, it starts to set. It doesn't even have to wait till it gets onto your face. It starts to set on your finger itself. So you want to work very quickly with this. Another thing is that the formula is so thick. It is so thick that it creases very quickly. And for that purpose, I don't think it's a very good highlighting concealer, because as soon as I apply it here, the time it takes to apply it, in that time only it creases. Which is why in the demo also I didn't apply it in a triangle like this to highlight. I just applied it to hide my dark circles, and I'll do the rest of my makeup, etc. later. Another thing is, so when you're using this, you want to be careful that you apply a very thin layer. Another thing is that when you're using this, you want to do one section of your face at a time. So if you want to use this under your eyes, do one eye, blend it very quickly and set it very quickly, and then do the other eye, blend it very quickly, set it very quickly. The shade that I have is D3, which is not my shade. It is quite a few shades lighter than me. So initially when I bought it to use it as a highlighting concealer. For that purpose, I don't like using it on my acne scars, etc., on any hyperpigmentation that I might have on my face. But also, this is since it's cream to powder, it does tend to sort of cling to dry patches. So you want to be careful about that. If you have dry skin, this is not for you. If you have oily skin, it might work a little bit better. Other than that, so for that reason, I don't like using it on my acne scars. Fresh acne also, acne scars also, it's not good for that purpose. But the great thing about it is that it is extremely high coverage. It is extremely high coverage. This is not really marketed as a concealer. I use it like that. A lot of people use it like that, but it's not really marketed as a concealer. It is a professional foundation, very high coverage, supposed to be for hiding tattoos. And I've seen lots of demos online to, I don't really have tattoos, but I've seen lots of demos online, and you can use it for that purpose, and it works really brilliantly for that purpose. So if that is what you need it for, wonderful product. On the other hand, there are some days when I really need a lot of coverage, under my eyes. If I've had a nice cry at night, or if I've not slept for a few days, or whatever, exam days when I have a lot of dark circles and things, this is absolutely brilliant. It retails for rupees 350, and you get a lot of product. This, does it say? Yeah, you get 4 grams of product for 350 rupees, but you need so little. I've had this for over a year. No, not over a year, just about 1 year, and I've just about created a dent in it. I'm not sure that you can tell, but I've just created a dent in it. So there is no way that I will ever be able to finish it off before it is not usable anymore. So you get a lot of product. It's great value for money. And other than the packaging and the fact that it creases, if you can work with it, like I have over time learned to work with it, there is a major learning curve for this foundation, concealer, whatever. You need to learn to work with it. You need to learn how to work fast. So for that reason, it's not a concealer for beginners. I bought it when I was a beginner, and I just kept it away for a while because I didn't know what to do with it, right? Now I know, but at the time I didn't know. So for that reason, if you're good with makeup, if you're comfortable enough to do it very quickly and get the job done very quickly, then that's good. But otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. For a professional, absolutely stunning. It's affordable. There's a lot. If you're a professional makeup artist, you can invest in a lot of these. You can shear it down to use it as a foundation, mix it with your mix it with a moisturizer, shear it down. You can get lots of colors. I remember when I went to the Kryolan store, there were over 50 colors in this, and okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but there were a ginormous color selection, from the lightest, palest to the darkest ever, and it was absolutely stunning. So it's cheap, you get a lot of color selection, and there is going to be a color for everybody. For that purpose, I absolutely love it. Another thing that I do want to mention is that this is just, you can say it's a first impression. I have never done this before, but today while I was preparing for this video, I got the idea, what if I try to use this as a base for my eyeshadow? And I applied a very thin layer, I buffed it in, and I did apply a little bit of powder on top of it so that it doesn't crease. Actually, I applied a lot of powder on top of it so that it doesn't crease, and then I topped it off with my eyeshadow that you can see me wear right now. And as a first impressions, it's actually really nice as an eye base. It has not creased. Yeah, it has not creased since I set it very well, and it's holding onto my eyeshadow very well. So as an eye base, I love it. As a very heavy duty very heavy duty concealer, I really like it. I have not tried to use this as a foundation, but I know for a fact that people do, and it's good for that purpose. It's a very high coverage foundation. Exclusively stage makeup, I would say. Not on an everyday basis, exclusively stage makeup when you need very heavy coverage and you can, get away with it. So that's when. And other than the packaging, which I don't really care for that much, I like it. For some purposes, for some certain situations, it's a very good concealer. It's a very good foundation. It's a very good eye base so far. and I like it. The only thing that I don't like about it is the packaging and the fact that it is so extremely cream to powder and it creases so quickly and it clings to my dry patches that I don't like using it on my acne scars and my hyperpigmentation and any dry patches on my face. So that's my review. Oily skin girls, go for it. It's great. Just, you know, be patient with it and learn to use it the way you can. Learn to use it so that it works for you. It works differently for different people. And dry skin girls, I would suggest that you stay a little away from it. It's not going to be good for you much. So think about what you need it for and accordingly buy. I will put, if this video has turned out to be as hodgepodge as I think it has, I will put the details of my thoughts in the description box. And yeah, I will see you later. Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering what lipstick I'm wearing and what eyeshadow I'm wearing, I will just let you know. My lipstick is the Faces Ultra Moist lipstick. It is in the shade Vintage Red, 810 Vintage Red, and it's a very moisturizing lipstick, and then this is my favorite red lipstick that I own. I own 2 of them. I like this one better than the other one. And my eyeshadow today is just one shade just washed over all over my eyes, and it is the Stila eyeshadow in Kitten, and I absolutely love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. By the way, it does dry matte, so that's a thing. It's extremely matte. It's not dewy or whatever, but even then it creases very quickly. So keep that in mind. And I think, yeah, for some situations it's absolutely brilliant, for others not so much. So think about what you need it for and accordingly buy. I will put, if this video has turned out to be as hodgepodge as I think it has, I will put the details of my thoughts in the description box. And yeah, I will see you later. Oh, by the way, just in case you're wondering what lipstick I'm wearing and what eyeshadow I'm wearing, I will just let you know. My lipstick is the Faces Ultra Moist lipstick. It is in the shade Vintage Red, 810 Vintage Red, and it's a very moisturizing lipstick, and then this is my favorite red lipstick that I own. I own 2 of them. I like this one better than the other one. And my eyeshadow today is just one shade just washed over all over my eyes, and it is the Stila eyeshadow in Kitten, and I absolutely love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. The rest of my makeup, I'm not wearing any blush, any contour, I'm not doing anything of that sort. I just